Shalom Aleichem, Mishnah Yomi for Koach, the 28th day of Adar Rishon, and Erev Shabbat. Vayakel is in chapter 5 of Nedarim, Mishnah Vav, Hamudar Hana Mechavero, someone subject to a neder preventing him from getting any benefit from another man. Ve'ein lo ma yochel, and he doesn't have anything to eat. Now, this should sound familiar from chapter 4. When we described some workarounds for these dire situations, but here in this Mishnah, we're going to elaborate a little bit on how this works. So what do? Note no la'acher, the man who is banned from giving benefit, or the other guy is banned from receiving his benefit through the neder. What does he do? He gives it to a third party, l'shum matana, for the sake of a gift. V'halo, and then the other guy, the guy who was banned, the guy who is subjected to the neder, is allowed to eat that food. And now the Mishnah is going to explain when a matana, when a gift is really a gift. Maaseh, there was a true story, be'echad be'beit choron, of a family up in Beit Choron, up in the north. Now we mentioned in Galil, they would often argue, shehaya aviv, his own father, was muder hemenu hana, was restricted by a neder from having any benefit from him. So either the son in this family banned his benefit onto the father, or the father himself had banned receiving any benefit from the son. Not a great situation. V'haya mosi et bno. Now the son is marrying off his own son. So he wants to bring the grandfather to the wedding, but the grandfather is restricted by a neder of having any hana from the son, the one who's throwing the wedding and paying the caterer and everything. V'amar lechavero, so the son, the guy throwing the wedding, he says to his friend, an unrelated friend here, he says, Chatzar, the whole courtyard, the banquet hall, the wedding hall, Suda, and the entire meal, netunim lecha, they're given over to you, b'matana, as a gift. And then he adds, ve'enon lefenecha, but they are not before you, meaning they don't belong to you, ela, only kadei sheyavo abba, in order my father will come, vayochel imanu besuda, that my father will be able to come to the wedding and come to the festive meal and celebrate with us. So his idea was, you're going to own the wedding. He says, yeah, I'm paying for everything, and it's technically mine, but I'm going to give it all to you, so you're going to own the entire wedding hall and all the food and all the, everything, and my father will come. Amar lo, so the third party, he said back to the son, im shalihem, if they're really mine, harehem mukdoshim l'shamayim, I am sanctifying them to heaven, meaning I'm giving them to the temple, and they're going to be forbidden for anyone to eat. Amar lo, the son says back to him, lo natati lacha, I'm not giving you et shali, my whole suda, shetakti shem l'shamayim, that you'll be able to sanctify it to the temple and ban it for everybody. Amar lo, and the third party says back to the son, lo natata li, you're not giving me et shalcha, your wedding, that you and your father are going to eat together, v'shotim, you're going to be drinking together, maybe some alcohol, and you will find favor one to another. You'll be able to sit down together and work out your differences. There's some squabble, there's some problem here where somebody's made a neder, either the father or the son, so you're going to sit together and work it out. V'hei avon, but the sin of the neder, talui b'rosho, will be hanging on his head, meaning my head, as the third party, as the one who's enabling him to violate the neder. And the Mishnah concludes, Kasheba davar lifnei chachamim, when this matter came before the sages, they asked for a psak, for a ruling, amru, they said, kol matana, any gift, she'ena, that is not in the category she'im hikdisha, if the recipient of the gift makes it hekdesh, gives it over to the temple, eina mukadeshes, that wouldn't work, eina matana, that's not a real gift. A gift that has strings attached where the recipient can't consecrate it, can't give it to tzedakah, that's not a gift. Now, besides the Nedarim implications, there's a lesson here when you give over something to someone, or you teach them something, you inspire them to improve, if it's something that they can use to improve their own avodas Hashem, their own tefillah, davening, Torah, mitzvot, to enhance their own life, then you've really given them something valuable. You've really given them a gift when a person can turn around and use it for something holy. Mazel Tov on Perek. Hey, let's go on to chapter 6. This goes back to the concept of Nedarim are halach acher lashon b'nei adam, that by a neder we follow the normal use of words. Mishnah Aleph, Hanoder minavushal. He has been banned by a neder from mivushal. Mivushal means cooked food. So he might have said mivushal is konam to me, mivushal is cherem to me. So is he allowed? What is he allowed to eat? Mutter, he is allowed to eat, but sli, roasted food, of a sholuk. Sholuk is it's either overcooked and it's really stewed, and it's when the vegetables all dissolve into the broth, or it could mean in some situations kind of undercooked and not really mavushal at all. Mavushal is usually cooked in a pot with some sort of broth or liquid or water. Amar, what if he said, Konam, I'm banning tavshil, cooked food, shanitoim, that I will not taste, I won't taste any cooked food. Also, b'maise kedera rach, so you can't eat anything cooked in a pot that's soft. Mutter, but he is allowed to eat be'ove, something that's solid, that's thick, something that's not soft that you would spoon, something with a fork and not a spoon. And the reason here is the word tavshil usually means something liquidy, something that you dip your bread into. And it would exclude something hard. Umutter, and he's also allowed the beitza tramita. Now, beitza tramita is maybe it's a soft-boiled egg, according to the Bartanura, and maybe it's barely cooked, it's runny. Ubedalat, and also a gourd, haramutza, that's covered in remetz. They covered it in hot ashes to sort of roast the outside of the gourd, and it makes it a little sweeter and more edible. Like roasted pumpkin maybe, but it's not like a food that you'd eat with bread. It's not considered a tavshil, sort of a normal cooked food. Yashar koach, and a good Erev Shabbos.